Today we'll be getting groovy with Drake. Aubrey Drake Graham was born in Toronto, Canada, October 24th, 1986, to an African man from Memphis and a white Jewish woman from Canada. Drake, at the early stages of his life, had to endure bullying due to him being mixed. He actually pursued hockey pretty early, but that was unfortunately halted due to a hard neck check. So he decided to audition for a show that would later have him take the role of Jimmy Brooks on a show called Degrassi, The New Generation from 2001 to 2007. But on the side, he actually decided to release some music, as he would release a few mixtapes. In 2006, he would drop Room for Improvement, and in 2007, he would drop Comeback Season, as well as, of course, dropping out of that show, as the show literally has him literally getting shot. Okay, I'm about to start talking about his music in a minute, but I just want to make something very clear. So what I say about Drake's music should not affect how you enjoy him. All this is just my own opinion. This is not an attack on Drake personally. This is all my opinion based on my own bias, as it's all subjective and it comes down to my own enjoyment. In 2009, he would release his mixtape So Far Gone. I won't necessarily go over in today's video, but I can't get enough of his biggest song off of that mixtape, Best I Ever Had. I mean, it has an amazing chorus, memorable lines, and the production is pretty good too. I mean, this would trigger a bidding war that would eventually lead him into getting signed with Young Money as Lil Wayne's protege, have him setting his feet officially into the music industry at large. Then he released Thank Me Later on June 13th, 2010. Drake finds himself really expressing a bit of both swagger and vulnerability. When it comes to that swagger, I mean, you have tracks like Thank Me Now and Fancy, and with the vulnerability aspect of his music with tracks like Find Your Love and Karaoke. Other highlights such as Over is one of the best songs from Drake and the best song in the album in my opinion. Show Me a Good Time has Drake doing more of a pop rap, which is more than likely inspired from Kanye West, 808s and Heartbreak. I mean, there are much more highlights such as Up All Night with Nicki Minaj, Light Up with Jay-Z, Miss Me with Lil Wayne, which was surprisingly solid. Everything else for the most part I do like on some level, even though I don't think he is like the best lyricist or one of the best lyricists out there. He still brings that pop rap appeal to the table. I genuinely think this is like a good album to me. The album itself was a huge success into the music industry, selling nearly 450,000 copies in its first week. He would go on to go Away From Home tour from April to November across a little over 78 shows. But Drake seemingly was not wanting to slow down, as he wanted to keep making music. Rather sooner than later that he would collaborate with his longtime producer Noah 40 to help him go in like a more different direction musically, one that would see Drake take a more moodier, quiet storm elements and darker tone. And that album would be Take Care, released on November 13, 2011. Not only do I think this is another good album of Drake's, but this would also be some of his best songs would also land on here as well. The title track Take Care with Rihanna has a nice chorus. I like the subject of the song, and Drake holds his own too. Lord Knows has Drake pretty much talking his shit. Look What You Done has Drake back into that vulnerable state, and I love it. Hell Yeah Fucking Right and The Motto are such like one size fits all tracks, if you could be such a thing. Buried Alive interlude has Kendrick for most of the track, and I honestly think that's nice. Marvin's Room has grown on me since my first listen, as like the subject of the song actually makes more sense. Headlines has Drake bragging about his popularity and success. For Love with The Weeknd is fine. The production for me just doesn't do that much justice in my opinion. Will Be Fine is okay. The only thing I really caught was the Aaliyah and Nicki Minaj lines. Other than that, I have no idea where the song was going. And also, Birdman really added nothing to me. Make Me Proud with Nicki is nice. It's just a part of the chorus where he's repeatedly saying I'm so. Doing It Wrong has a chill, moody vibe with the piano. So yeah, this project has a lot to offer if you're willing to get into Drake's music. It's another good album. This will be another success for Drake, as he won a Grammy for it for Best Rap Album in 2012, being with certified 8-time platinum. And it really cemented cemented Drake's style in his pop rap appeal. Going into his discography by this point, it seemed like Drake was seemingly starting to like really dive himself into the mainstream a bit more. Drake would continue the trajectory he had going for it, as he would continue like this moody vibe he would have on his next record, but with more spacey instrumentation and a bit of like a psychedelic appeal to it too. That next record would be Nothing Was the Same, released on September 24th, 2013. The Tuscan Leather was a very bold move for Drake, as it really has no chorus. It's mostly him just spitting bar after bar after bar. Apart from the Bottom has more spacey production with some memorable lines too. From Time has nice production, as I like the piano on this track. Too Much has Sampha on the hook, and to be honest, you can't go wrong with Sampha on any song. I like the punchy beat switch when Drake comes in on his verses. Connect has a very spacey and psychedelic sound to it. It's another song with Drake being Drake. It's pretty much talking about a toxic on and off relationship. Language brings back punchy production. Drake asserts his dominance as one of hip-hop's elites at the time. I like the production. I don't mind Drake singing on this track. Hold On We're Going Home is, to me, is like the best song on this record and possibly the best song Drake has ever put out. I like the production. I really don't mind Drake singing on here, and this again might be Drake's best song he's ever put out, other than Own It, which is very questionable production to me. Everything else on this album is good on some level, as this album is his best one so far in my opinion. It's definitely a great album for sure. This album will gain massive critical acclaim, cemented his dominance in pop rap once more, and this will probably start some level of beef that will come with certain artists in the future, but we'll get to that later when we get further into his discography. And Drake's next project after this will be more of like a mixtape, but still an album. The rollout for it was definitely your non-traditional album or mixtape rollout, as it was quite literally released in the middle of the night, out of nowhere. There was really like no teasers, if I'm correct. And that mixtape would actually be, if you're reading this, it's too late, released on February 13th, 2015. This is another project I think that could probably be Drake's best. I personally remember listening to it for the first time about a year ago. I remember loving it then, and I still love it now. My favorites personally on here are Legend, Energy, 10 Band, Know Yourself, Madonna, Six God, and a few more here and there. I don't mind Jungle and 6 p.m. in New York, as that second track I just mentioned. It's one of his better diary-like tracks. But since it's a mixtape, I will be doing like a full-fledged review on how this kind of differs from the rest of his catalog. So please stay tuned for that. The mixtape was, again, another success for Drake, as it debuted at #1 with over 500,000 units sold his first week. Goddamn. He would release another mixtape with Future, What a Time to Be Alive, later in 2015, which was another success. He would then release the smash single Hotline Bling, that in my personal opinion that really catapulted him officially into the mainstream, because by this point I personally think that he could do no wrong. Good project after good project, or at least on some level of good projects, and Hotline Bling would actually be his lead single to his next album Views in 2016. But as I won't get into that, unfortunately I won't get into that in today's video, as I will be doing another video on Drake's discography, as the next video would be me going over from 2016 to his most recent album, and I've heard it actually come up with another album called Iceman. But yeah, those are my personal thoughts on Drake. I understand I get some shit for talking about Drake's music. This is me going the extra mile to do this. So yeah, if you watched to the end to this point in the video, thank you, because that means a lot. That means a lot to me. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Drake. What do you think on Drake? What do you think his best album is from these set of years? And if you want to get into Drake's music, I would heavily suggest Take Care, as it kind of represents both sides of Drake. He shows his vulnerability as well as expressing it, showcasing his dominance. So yeah, those are my thoughts. You want to see another video I did like this, please go check out my video on Kanye West.